Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's online information session for SANS Technology Institute for our graduate school. We are going to talk about the master's degree program as well as all of our graduate certificate programs. I am going to wait another moment or two as people log into today's call, so please hang tight and I'll be right back. Hey, we are back. Thank you for those of you logging in to today's call. My name is Kim Kafka, and I am the Assistant Director for Admissions Outreach for the college. Here is my contact information as well as that of my team, Lindsay Sheets and Nicole Barbour. We are all the first line to speak to at the college if you want to look in deeper to a program, figure out what's the right track for you, maybe give us a couple scenarios that you have questions about, and we will definitely help guide you, answer those specific questions, and work with you as you go through this admissions process. So please feel free to schedule some time to meet with us, speak with us. We really want to hear from you and look forward to working with you during this process. But for today's purposes, we are going to do a really well, hopefully, in depth overview of the college and answer any questions that might be top of mind for you. So, to begin with, today's agenda, just to give you all an overview of what we're going to discuss, we're going to review SANS Technology Institute. We're going to talk about the programs and how they're designed, what degrees are offered, and which different pathways lead from one to the next. We will talk about how the courses are structured and how you can take a course, the different modalities, tuition and funding, admissions and application, and then at the end there will be a live Q&A. So get your questions ready, and Lindsay and I will be here at the end of today's presentation to answer them live in the room. So to begin with, I want to just review the whole of SANS Institute. So the larger SANS, which we like to refer to as SANS.org, is known as the largest and by far the most trusted provider of information security training, certifications, and research in the world. So last year alone, SANS trained over 50,000 people across all industries in both the public and private sectors. Everything at SANS is focused on skills training that are hands on. And that's the biggest difference between us and anyone else in the industry. We give you hands on training with the SANS promise that you can take what you learn in the classroom and apply it to your job the very next day. We want students at the graduate school working in the fields so they can learn in the classroom and take it back to their job the very next day. Or conversely, take questions that arise on the job, bring them into the classroom, work with the best practitioners in the world to understand what's going on and bring it back to work the next day. So very exciting the way that we incorporate the learning with the actual hands-on experience. Students take these trainings in either immersive week-long events around the world or completely on demand online. And we'll go through that a little bit more in detail, but you can take these courses any way that works for you and your busy schedule. The faculty is really the reason that SANS is so spectacular. These are industry leaders who work on the front lines of cybersecurity and happen to be phenomenal teachers. So you are getting teachers that actually do the work on a regular basis in the field, which makes it very exciting and offers that real world experience that you're looking for to learn from the best of the best. SANS is very community focused. You'll be able to find lots of free resources at the SANS.org website, webinars, podcasts, our Internet Storm Center. Take a look and take advantage of all the things that we offer that are free resources for the field. GIAC is a professional certification organization that is an independent subsidiary of the larger SANS. And these GIAC certifications that you earn for each class are recognized in the industry as the gold standard. There is nothing like them. They set you well above any colleagues in the field for expertise and prove that you have a mastery of whatever GAC you are certified in. They are fantastic and they are part of not only SANS.org, but the graduate school as well, which leads us to SANS.edu. The biggest difference between SANS.org, which is our parent company, and SANS.edu is that we are a regionally accredited college and graduate school. We are accredited by Middle States, which holds the same accreditation as Cornell, Johns Hopkins, Columbia, just to name a few. We are a true higher education institution. SANS.org, our parent company, is a training facility. SANS.edu is the college and graduate school. That sets us apart. We have over 2,500 active students right now, and it puts us as one of the top five largest programs focused solely on cybersecurity in the world. The mission remains the same, and this is something that was started at .org and transfers over to the college. We are developing cybersecurity professionals with in-demand skills. This is what we do, and this is all we do. Even at the undergraduate level, we only work in the cybersecurity field. Students come to us with their grad credit of 70, and then we offer them just the cybersecurity to finish the program. At the graduate level, it's only cyber all the time. SANS.edu is a bit different than other institutions that you might look at. And so, why people choose us is number one, we have academic pricing. So, if you're looking at taking a GX certification course and you want to do more than one or two, the college is going to give you better pricing per course. The faculty, I've already spoken regarding their expertise, the fact that they are the best in the business, and it's really exciting to be able to have them as your teachers for this field. GX certifications are the final exam in all of our courses, so you are earning the GX as you work your way through the program. Everything at sans.edu is designed for the working professional. So everything is flexible. You can take your courses completely on demand in 1 week sessions, take breaks in between. We know that we are requiring our students to be full-time professionals, and so we offer maximum flexibility so that you can manage the work as well as a full-time job. Again, for our course delivery, you have options. So live online, live in person, or completely on demand. We offer them for every course that you take. You can decide what modality works best in that moment. And then our funding options vary. We are one school that does not participate in FAFSA. However, we do have our own specific payment plan that we'll talk about at the end. That is a pretty great option, as well as tuition assistance, which is a very big deal at the graduate school. Most companies will pay for, or at least contribute to, education funds for their employees to go back and get SANS GX. Things that set us apart. I know it's a little bit daunting as a working professional to think of, oh my gosh, I'm going back to school. What does this look like? I'm not ready for a whole college program. This is a bit different. We base our plans on individual and flexible academic schedules. So, whereas you think of typical academic calendars as being semester based, fall and spring, we are rolling admissions and rolling coursework all year long. Again, really catering to a working professional. Our admissions windows are not just specific times of the year, like fall and spring. We have rolling admissions. So at any time that it works for your schedule to start a program, you can be into the program within 45 days of your application being submitted. We only offer one course at a time. So most college programs or master's degree programs, you could take a semester's worth of coursework, 3 or 4 courses maybe in a semester. We don't work that way. You take one course at a time, you specialize, you focus, you gain the GAC, then you're able to enroll in your next course. So we really want you to focus and concentrate on one thing at a time, learn it, do it well, and then move forward. And lastly, most academic institutions are faculty centric. We are advisor centric in our support, which means that you are assigned an academic student advisor from day one, and they will work with you all the way through the program. We'll talk about resources and how you can access those as you go through the program, but your advisor will be your go-to in addition to your staff, the faculty, and people that you'll work with in the field. Here is an example of every program offered at SANS. Take a look just to give you an idea of how vast our curriculum now expands to. For the undergrad programs, we have Cybersecurity Fundamentals, which is a small, tiny program, which leads into the ACS, our Applied Cybersecurity Certificate Program, and also our bachelor's degree program. So that's at the undergraduate level. We will train students to become cybersecurity experts. We will help people achieve degrees that maybe haven't earned them yet in the field. Then on the graduate side, which is what we're going to focus on today, as you can see, we have a master's of information security engineering, as well as 9 graduate certificate programs, which are more focused pathways to specific topics. For the academics, I touched upon this earlier that you can take your coursework live online, live in person, or completely on demand. For live online and live in person, these are immersive week-long courses. You will either be live online, much like we are today, but for full days, or go to an event live in person, and it is a 1 week course. All of the information, the 40 hours of content from your instructor is delivered in 1 week, all condensed into that 1 week. You still have the rest of your course to study, index, review materials, rewatch videos, do your labs, and get ready for that GX certification. But the instruction is all up front. If you choose an on-demand, flexible scheduling, then you get the pre-recorded lectures and you can watch them at your own pace. So any way you take the course, the information is the same, content is the same, GAC is the same, pricing is the same. It's really up to you in terms of how you want to take that particular subject. The basic construction of our courses are the class plus the GX certification exam. The master's degree is the only program that has courses that don't involve GX. So you'll take some project practicums, some management that just kind of has an ending exam without an actual GX. But most of the courses, even in the master's degree, result in a GX certification. The GX are your final exam in every course at the graduate school, and you must pass them and earn the GX certification to pass the course. Here is a look at our master's degree. So quick kind of snapshot of what it entails. 36 credits, takes about 3 to 5 years, we estimate, depending on the student, going at their own pace, and it's $54,000. It's 100% online, available if you want it to be, and then you can even choose a focus area within the master's degree, again, if you choose. So it starts in block 1, which is your baseline technical foundation, courses like GSEC, GCIH, and GSTRT, really creating that foundation for you in cyber, giving you that broad range and some really applicable skills that will translate throughout the program. Then block 2 is more intermediary. You're getting some hands-on group projects. You're doing some defensible security. So in the GDSA, that SSAP is that management course that has the SSAP, though not a GIAC, and then GCIA and a core comp exam. This is all sort of building on blocks 1 and making sure you're ready for block 3, which is really getting specialized and a little bit deeper. You'll finish your management coursework with the GSLC, and then you get to choose 3 electives. This is where you can choose a specific focus area if you'd like. If not, diversify. You can take a course in every area, should you choose. 1 pen testing, 1 incident response, 1 defense. Or again, you can specialize. And then block 4 becomes your year of culminating practicums. You are practicing everything you've learned. You're doing a net wars. There's your white paper where you will pick a research project of your own design, work with a writing specialist, and get that done. You'll do some security project practicums and just kind of tie up the program with a very pretty red ribbon and 9 GX certifications under your belt. Here are the technical elective coursework that you can choose from. This isn't an exhaustive list, but these are the categories. Again, you can pick one in each, or you can pick a specific category and create a focus area. Now for graduate certificate programs. If the master's degree feels a little bit too in-depth and just a little bit more than you want to take on at any given moment, the graduate certificate programs are great ways to start slower. The one thing I want to mention for the master's degree, you must keep a minimum of 8 credits per year to stay in good standing. So that's about 3 courses, if you will, a year. For the graduate certificate program, it's much less. There's a lot more flexibility. So if that 8 credits a year makes you nervous, this is a great place to begin. And everything that you take at the graduate certificate level can map to the master's degree and transfer in at 100% as long as the curriculum coordinates. So that's something to think about too. You can start smaller and build. The programs map to specific job roles. So as you can see, along with the titles for the programs, that is the coursework that you will be focused on. And you can pick from any of the following. Here's an example of what a graduate curriculum might look like. I chose the incident response program. It's 4 courses, 12 credits, 18 to 24 months is the typical timeline. Again, there's a lot of flexibility there, and it's $22,800. So in a program like this, you have a core curriculum that you must take. In this case, it's the GCFE, GCFA, and the GNFA. Those are 3 GACs. They build from one to the next. And then in this particular course, you get to choose an elective. I believe we've even added on to this list recently. So there's a lot of fun courses to choose from. Now, if in this case you want the master's degree, you would just make sure that your elective was part of the core of your master's degree program, and your academic advisor will help you do that. For student resources, I like to mention this because although we are online and virtual, we never leave you out on your own in this bubble of, I don't know what I'm doing. How can I gain help? You will have a student advisor, as I've mentioned now a few times, and they are going to be your lead go source. But in addition to that, every course at the graduate level or undergrad for that matter has a subject matter expert. We call them SMEs, assigned to the course. They are available to you to use. Either you can meet them online, chat on the phone, communicate via email. They will help you in any way. You need one-on-one help and support, they are there. You want to get a small group of other students that you're working, with together, great. They will help you in that capacity. So you will always have access to extra help. There are practice exams that go with every GIAC certification course. You get 2 of those. Research has shown when you pass a practice GIAC, you are passing the real thing 99% of the time. They are great tools to success. As I mentioned, in our master's degree program, you'll get a writing tutor. You'll be able to work with faculty should you need them in any capacity, in any class. Virtual office hours tend to be available. National Cyber League competitions will help you hone those skills. There is a resource center for our Sentinels. You will work with other students in the Canvas network and through Slack to communicate and just become sort of that cyber community that you're looking for help and support. Then, as an alumni, you will have access to continuing education resources, streamlined enrollment should you want another program or to transfer into a different program, speaking opportunities at SANS events, lots of alumni networking opportunities, and just the cachet of saying that I am a SANS alum and let me see who else is out there that I can communicate with, again, as part of this large and ever-growing alumni network. Now I want you to hear from one of our students because the best thing we can do is show you those that have been successful in the program.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Jeremiah Hanley, and I graduated from SANS Technology Institute's master's program in 2019. My favorite part of my SANS education was learning from teachers that are actively engaged in their own professional cybersecurity careers that can provide stories that connect course content to the real world. Since graduating from SANS, I've seen rapid career progression at my company through four different promotions. And those definitely didn't come just because I have a fancy degree or a bunch of certificates on my resume, but because I learned a wide variety of industry relevant skills that I could apply to deliver real value to meaningfully reduce cyber risk to my company's objectives. If you're considering whether you should enroll at SANS Technology Institute, I would recommend signing up for a few SANS course demos or even a full SANS class to show both yourself and your employer that there's immediate and actionable value that you can bring back to your company.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jeremiah. Now for admissions. So we've chatted through the different exciting things about the programs, whether it's a graduate certificate or the master's degree, the extra help, the ways that you will take your courses. Now let's talk about how to get into the programs. Couple things that are important to note. We require a minimum of 12 months working experience prior to applying for any of our graduate programs. This is pretty non-negotiable. We want you experienced in the field. We want you to have at least 12 months working in information technology or information security. In addition to that, we would like you to be currently employed. As I mentioned, part of what we do is we want you to take what you've learned in the classroom and apply it to the job. This is very important at the graduate level, so we'd like those working professionals in the field so that they can do that. And just so you know, if by chance you don't fall into those two categories today, our undergraduate programs are designed to gain access into the job market for people newer to cyber. But even for our career seeking unemployed students, that is the best way to go to work with our career center to get the jobs, to get that networking going, especially if you're having trouble finding a job in the field right now. We require a graduate conferred degree from the undergraduate program that you've been in. Any kind of bachelor's degree will do. It does not have to be a specific major. We just need a conferred degree. And we're looking for a minimum GPA of 2.8. So just all those criteria kind of start the process. And if you meet those, then you are eligible to apply. Once you've applied, take care with those applications. We very much look at them and assess them. We look at them holistically, but they are very important as you are looking to get access into our programs. If you're an international student, which we do have a nice international population of students, and we love that, you need to have your transcripts evaluated by either TEC, IEE, or WES. We need a course by course evaluation from your undergraduate degree if you were educated abroad. If English is not your first language, or if your degree was not earned with English as your mode of instruction, then you will need a TOEFL or IELTS to prove that you have that capability at the academic level. We don't require a student visa, nor is one provided for you while you're in our programs. If you have experience with SANS prior to entering our graduate school, and you have earned a GIAC that is still active, we will consider it for a waiver. There is a 25% waiver limit for outside SANS.org certifications that can be brought into any program. For a graduate certificate program, that 25% is 3 credit hours, one course plus one active GIAC certification. For the master's and bachelor's degree, that 25% is 9 credit hours, 3 courses with 3 active GIAC certifications. Let us know if you want to chat about the waivers or if you have questions. We grant these waivers prior to admission, once you are accepted into the program, prior to enrolling into the program. So we will grant those as you go. And then, of course, we take that tuition off the top and credit your account. And then the funding options. I told you I'd touch upon this a little bit later, so here they are. Employer tuition assistance is a big one. You should check with your company, see if you are eligible for employer TA. We are a fully accredited higher education institution, which typically makes us eligible for most tuition assistance programs. We accept VA education benefits, including the GI Bill and VRE, vocational rehab. So we have about 30% of our students that are eligible for GI Bill benefits and use them to the college, maybe even a little bit more. Um, then we have a voucher program through SANS, which if your company has a voucher account, as long as it's universal with SANS.org, you can also apply it to the college. So this is also another fabulous way that our students can come to us. Their companies might work with SANS.org and just have this voucher account that they can pull from. It's accessible at the college as well. So look into that in addition to any kind of tuition assistance you might have. And lastly, and I save it for the end because if you don't fall into any of those categories I just mentioned, our tuition payment plan, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is fabulous. It basically says we will take the tuition for the program, whatever program you're applying to, divide it into equal payments of $850 a month. There is no interest and no fees. You simply pay $850 a month until the program is paid in full. It allows you to get through the coursework as fast as you'd like, just paying that $850 a month. No interest, no fees. So that's a nice way to kind of spread out your payments into smaller chunks without accumulating any more debt. Now it's time for the Q&A. So I'm going to invite my colleague Lindsay on to today's session, and she will moderate the questions for you that hopefully you have put in the chat. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi. We've had a few that have been submitted here as we've been going through the presentation. We also had some that were submitted ahead of time. So I'm going to jump back and forth. The first one that we have in here is, are there any AI-focused graduate certificates possibly forthcoming?
Okay, great question. Thank you to whoever asked that. And the answer is yes. We don't have any specifics yet, but what I can tell you is that SANS is working on AI curriculum, AI coursework, and creating a program that is specific to AI. Now, when that comes, I don't know for sure. It has to go through beta, then accreditation, and etc. But it is forthcoming. What I would also say, though, just for general knowledge, most of the coursework that you will be taking at SANS will involve some form of AI. It is current. Everything that you learn at SANS is hypercurrent, constantly changing, evolving. AI has to be part of that. So even if it is not specifically designed to teach to just AI, you will be touching upon it in your cyber journey. But if AI specific is what you want and need, keep an eye out.
Yeah, it feels like AI is in absolutely
Yes.
everything at this point. So of course our instructors are way on top of that.
Yes.
The next one that we have is it possible to study remotely in Singapore? If yes, how do we handle the tuition payment?
Okay. So that's an excellent question, and it has two folds to it. If you are, you can absolutely study remotely in Singapore. And what I would suggest is that you'll probably be doing the program completely on demand. And what that means is everything will come to you, all the content, the labs, the curriculum, the books that you're getting. They might be, there might be actual physical materials. Everything will be sent to you, and you have 90 days to complete a course. You'll get an academic advisor, you'll have access to the subject matter experts, but you'll probably want to do it on demand because of the timing. You could certainly be eligible for a live in person if you wanted to travel or a live online, but again, timing might have to coordinate. Now, there might be some live events abroad that might work better for the timing. So, these are all things that you can access and look into, but you can absolutely do it as a student in Singapore. Now, for the tuition payments, unfortunately, that program that I mentioned is not open to international students. So, for you internationally, you would be paying one course at a time. You pay as you go. So every course, depending on which program you're in, has a maximum fee. Just to give you an example, in the graduate certificate programs, it's $5,700 per course. That includes all your materials, the GACs, the course itself, and then you would just pay that up front, take the course, and then when you're ready to schedule your next course, that's when your next payment would be due. It's a great place to work with your company to see if they offer tuition assistance.
Oh, well, actually, that's a really good segue because this one says, my TA isn't great. Can I use it and pay the rest with another funding source?
The answer is yes. So you can work with your advisor to sort of figure out how that looks. But let's say you have $5,000 of annual tuition assistance. My advice would be use that first, take it, pay for the course. Then maybe you enroll in a tuition payment plan if you are US based, and then you start paying that 850 a month. When it comes into the next year and you want to use tuition assistance again for a course, that would basically just instead of being billed to your tuition payment plan account, that tuition assistance would be billed on its own. You'd continue on with your tuition payments, but you would just use your TA and pay for that course. So they can definitely coordinate.
Perfect. This person asks, are the graduate certificate live courses similar to the typical SANS structure with a time limit to take the exam? And then the second part of that is also, is there a discount or and opportunity to retake the exam opposed to failing the class?
Okay, great question. So the answer is yes, the timeframes are the same. 90 days. Well, actually, let me no. The timeframes are not quite the same. So at sans.org, typically you have 4 months to take a course and then you schedule the JAC after that. So that's actually not similar to us at all. You have 3 months, 90 days to take the course and pass the GX certification. So that's a huge distinction between the two. However, when you're in the course, the information is the same, the materials are the same, the instruction is the same. So that the actual what you're learning is the same, but the time frame and the way you're taking the GAC is very different. Now, with that said, at the college, as I said in the presentation, you must pass the GAC to pass the class. So if you fail it, you do have to retake it. We will allow you another 30 days to kind of regroup, meet with your advisor, figure out where the holes are, where you went wrong, maybe fix your index a bit, and then retake the exam. You will have to pay the retake exam fee, but that's it. You don't have to pay for the course again, but you are responsible for the fee retake for the exam.
Okay. This person says, I want to do a grad cert and then the MS. Is there one you suggest, as in one that overlaps more than others?
Yep. Great question and great pathway. I would say that 85, maybe there's only two programs, maybe three. I'd have to really dive in, but that don't overlap with the master's degree. But if you want the best, cleanest route, it is the cybersecurity engineering practitioner program. That is pulled almost directly from the master's degree, and it really lines up almost to the order of the master's degree, and it's a seamless transfer in. So if you're asking which one to choose and you have no predisposition for one to the other, that's the one I would recommend.
And this has to do a little bit with that waiver transfer situation as well. I already have the GCIH and GCFE. Can I bring them both in? They don't specify what program.
Okay. So I'll address both just in case. If you're asking me about the master's degree program, absolutely. GCIH comes in as a core, GCFE would be an elective designated in the master's degree program, and that is less than the 25% that you are allowed into the master's, which is again 3 courses with 3 GX. For the graduate cert, if you're asking, then the answer would be no. You would pull in, let's say it's incident response, you would pull in the GCFE and then just take a different elective because you're only allowed one waiver in the graduate certificate programs.
All right. This person says there's a chance that I will have to be called up for the military. What happens if I'm in a program when that happens? Do I just lose all that I've done up to that point?
Okay. You would never lose all that you've done. Now, I'd like to say that my hope is you would be in between coursework. So as opposed to in the middle of a class and you haven't completed the GAC, that's something you would have to really talk to your advisor about. What I can tell you is that there are many, many, many students who have to put their program on pause because of deployment. Absolutely. You would take a leave of absence. We hit pause. When you're ready to come back, you pick up right where you left off. In a perfect situation, you've completed one class, maybe two classes, and then you get the next two when you come back or the next three. But something we can absolutely work with, that is what your student advisor is there for, to work with you, help you through it, best case scenario, and make it easy.
Okay, this one asks, I have an MBA from here in the US. Can I send that instead of my undergraduate? They say certificate. I'm not sure what they mean from my home country. It's much more recent and easier to get the documents.
Right. So appreciate that question. And unfortunately, and I'm so sorry about this, but we do need a conferred bachelor's degree translated from your undergrad education. We would love to see the master's degree. And when we're talking about admission into the program, that will become more relevant. More recent coursework, maybe your GPA was better. It will give you the English, my guess is it will give you the English language waiver because you've had now a degree program conducted in English, but we do still need that bachelor's degree. It's something that's required for our accreditation. All US programs for graduate school must show a conferred bachelor's in order to get in.
All right, this one, which is the last one that we have in here for right now, so unless we get any others, this will be kind of a quick Q&A today. It says, do we
Okay.
get any career support in the masters?
Okay. This question does come up often, and here's what I'm going to say without having an exact, I guess, an exact guideline for it. The short answer is no. Career placement is not typically, or career access is not typically something that the graduate students seek or need. Part of that is you're already working professionals in the field. A lot of times your network is as vast as the Career Center could help you provide because you've been in the field. A lot of our students have been in the field a long time. With all of that said, should you need support or not, have access to kind of, I guess, networking, absolutely you can tap our career center and I'd like to think that they would help. I bet they would help you with a resume review. I bet they would help you with some, interviewing questions and skill sets and maybe some networking opportunities. You'll have access to the resume repository and the job repository should you need it. So even though there's not a direct program related to the graduate school because it's typically not necessary, if you need it, you are a SANS alumni and we will help in any way that we can. So hopefully that's enough of an answer for now. Okay,
Okay,
great.
that's everything. There's one more, but I'm
That's
going to type a response to it.
okay, excellent. Thank you guys. Those were great questions. Not totally overwhelming us, but I loved the quality. So who needs the quantity? Okay, then let's wrap this up for you. Application deadlines. Master's degree deadlines are quarterly. So February 1, May 1, August 1, November 1. Any of those dates throughout a calendar year, and you can submit your application for the master's degree. You will hear from us in 30 days. It is a 30-day review period. Your application goes to committee. You'll get a decision 30 days later. Then you start your program about 30 days after that. Graduate certificate programs are monthly. The 15th of every month, we accept graduate certificate applications. You will hear from us in 30 days. Again, they go through committee review, 30 days. On the 15th of the following month, you will receive your decision and you can start on the first of the month after that. So allow about, 45 to 60 days from when your application is submitted until your start date. I am putting our contact information back up on the screen. I want to thank everyone for attending today. And really, it's just so nice to be able to give you an overview all at once and put that information out there. If you have more specific questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. Let's make a time to talk. You can email us. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks today for attending. We look forward to seeing all those applications and have a great day.